If you've got a van, you likely have windows. Some vans have more than others, as you see with mine, and they have their benefits and they have their drawbacks. So today I just want to quickly show you how I cover my windows, and I know there's many different ways of doing it, and I'm just going to give you a quick overview of how I do mine and why I do mine. There's three reasons why we cover windows, basically, at least why I cover them. One's for privacy, one's for security, and one is to help insulate the van. If I'm out camping in the middle of the wilderness, away from anybody, I usually don't cover my windows. I love sleeping at night and being able to look all around me at the stars and the woods or the desert, wherever I may be. If it's raining out during the day, I like to be able to sit in my van and look around and not feel trapped or claustrophobic. However, if I am in the city, say at a campground or at a Walmart, I want a little privacy. I don't want people looking inside. I want a little security. I don't want people seeing what I have inside my van. So then I want to cover up. If I'm in the desert where it's hot out like it is today here, or if I'm someplace where it's cold and snowing, I'd like to have a little more insulation on those windows to either trap the heat inside or to keep the heat out, the UV rays out. So let's take a quick look at what I do with my windows and to give myself a little more privacy and insulation value. Now, when I'm driving down the road, I like to be able to see out all my windows. It's safer that way. I also, if I have the bed in here set up, the dogs like to sit on the bed and they like to look around out the windows while I'm driving. And I also like to be able to open up the vents on some of these windows to allow more air to flow through. When I'm parked though at a campground and I want some privacy, or at a Walmart, as I said earlier, then I will take these out. I've got these panels that I made for my windows, and they're held up to the ceiling with bungee cords. I'll take them out and I'll show you how I mount them into the windows. Now, I've got an older van. There's a lot of exposed metal inside the van, and I also have these doors that have exposed metal and a deeper recess in the windows. So what I use are these foam board pieces that I got at Home Depot. They come in different thicknesses. This thickness that I have here is about, I think, a ½ inch. It has a white side to it with a plastic film over that, and then it has a metallic side to it. What I have done is I cut it out so it fits pretty snug into the window, and I put the metallic side facing out, and I just squeeze it in, and then I've got magnets that help hold it into the window. And I usually, let's see, put it this way. It doesn't really matter which way, but I do it this way. These magnets up on the top help hold it, the ones on the bottom help hold it. But it is snug also, so it stays in there pretty well. So I've got two of these that I put in the two side doors for each window. They're made basically custom made for the window. They're really snug. Now the advantage, and some people will paint them black or cover them with a black felt, which works also. I like this the silver or the metallic coating, because it actually reflects a lot of heat, a lot of the UV rays out away from the interior of the van on the summer days, the hot summer days. And I've noticed, when I've got the air conditioning running inside and all the windows covered with this, it's considerably cooler. I also use this insulation as one of the layers on my ceiling, which before I had this, if you touched the ceiling, you'd burn your fingers. It was so hot. When I put these in here, and I feel it's mildly warm, but it's not hot at all. So it does help quite a bit in insulating the van, and just like it insulates the windows. So I've got 2 for the side doors, and I have 2 for the long side windows, 1 on each side. And they are made for each side, same material. However, they fold up, so when I'm not using them, I can just fold them up and attach them, all these that I've made, basically to the ceiling with the bungee cords. Again, they're great for privacy and insulation. Now, on one of them, the one that sits next to where my bed is, I also have put a little, kind of a little thing that at night, if I hear something outside, I want to see what's out there, I can just lift this open and look outside and see what's on this side of the van. If it's on the other side of the van, I'll usually just go look out one of these doors, one of the windows. So that's how I do most of my windows. However, there are a couple windows where I can't use this material, and I'll show you what I do on those windows. So on the back windows and these 2 side windows up here, you'll notice that I have screens. And so this means that I really can't put that foam board up there. I like to be able to open these screens and still have a little privacy and be able to, shut out anybody from looking inside. So what I've done with these 2 windows on this side is I've got these pretty strong magnetic hooks mounted along the top here, and I've got some paracord that I just run between these hooks, and I basically just run this paracord along this window. And then I've got these 2 blackout curtains. I picked these up on Amazon. They've got grommets, or holes in grommets on the top. And I just hooked them onto a couple hooks here. There's a little hook here for your clothes or a hanger. I'll hook that up there. And then I've got basically it's attached up here to this line up here, and I'll show you this in a second. So then I can just run this curtain at night, and I can move these hooks, if I want a little more support. But at night I'll just run these here to close off these 2 windows. I also have magnets that I can just basically, if I want a little more privacy to close off any light, I use magnets to better secure these curtains. So that's really what I do with these 2 windows for privacy. When I'm driving, I'll even sometimes just do this and slide them open. And these hooks, some of these big powerful magnets, are strong enough to hold this up here. And those are my curtains, and for privacy, they work great. I haven't had any issues. From the outside, it covers up everything quite well. On the back, do the same thing. With these 2 windows, they've got vents or screens on them that I like to use. If I'm camping or someplace where I want a breeze coming through, I'll just open those up. So what I'll do then also is I've got 2 more of those blackout curtains, and instead of using the paracord here, I just take them and basically hook them on using the grommets that are already into in the curtains, that came in the curtains like that. And then I'll use magnets, if I want to seal it up a little better, just use the magnets like that. They work well also. They let me open up the vents at night and still have a little more privacy. Now, in the front, at night, what I've done is I've got these two blackout curtains. These are, I know most people get black, but I actually wanted something that was a little less obvious when I'm parked, but does the same thing as the black ones. They come in different colors. But I've got these two curtains, and I bought them on Amazon. They just happen to be the height that I need. They go all the way down to the floor. And then I ran a cable, a wire cable or metal, rubber or plastic coated cable using eye bolts from one side to the other. I've got in the middle here a little support hooked here, and I just, at night I can close these up, and I have a clip that if I want to close this, make sure it doesn't open at all. And that provides, it darkens the interior. At night you can't see through them at all. They work, perfect for what I need. And they give me a little privacy. And they also help keep if I'm using a heater or the AC, they help trap more of it in the back here instead of cooling or heating the front area. There is a little bit of a gap above here, but I've never had any problems, with light or anything seeping through. So those are my curtains. And then when I'm driving, I basically just pull it over here behind the seat, just like that. And when the rear windows are not covered, then I can use my rear view mirror also to see all the way out the back. That is what I do, if I pull into a campground or a parking lot where I'm going to overnight or boondock, and it works wonderfully. If I'm someplace where I'm doing long-term camping, say a week at a campground, then I will also use the window covering for the front windshield. And this one actually happens to wrap around the front windshield and the two side windows to help reflect the heat out, the UV rays, and help keep the inside cooler or warmer and add a little more privacy. So that really is it. That's my how I cover my windows, how I insulate them, all in one shot, and it's worked great for me. It won't work on all vehicles because a lot of vehicles, the newer ones, don't have as much exposed metal, or they don't have the recessed window seals like I've got on the on these windows, where you can sit something into it snugly. But there's a lot of other alternatives that people use. This is just how I do it for my van.